The station breathed like an old, sleeping beast, every creak of its metal bones echoing in the cold night. Rain tapped a jagged rhythm on the corrugated roof, some drops slipping through and falling onto the platform in silver splashes. The air smelled faintly of wet iron and damp concrete. Clara sat hunched on a splintered wooden bench, her wool coat pulled tightly around her as if it could hide her from the world. The dim station clock above the ticket window flickered weakly, 11:42 p.m. The second hand stuttered with each tick, a slow reminder that the last train was coming in just 8 minutes. A man in a tailored charcoal suit strode past, his polished shoes clicking like a metronome on the wet floor. He didn't glance her way. Two teenagers leaned over a glowing phone screen, their muffled laughter clashing with the station's stillness. No one noticed the woman sitting alone with a single battered suitcase at her feet. The leather was cracked, the handle fraying. Her gloves, far too thin for December, did little to stop the cold from creeping into her bones. She wasn't waiting for a destination. She was waiting for a reason. 6 months ago, Clara's life had been a constant hum of hospital corridors and whispered reassurances. She was a burn unit nurse, steady hands, quick mind, strong heart. Then the fire came. Not a patient's fire, but their own. The hospital blaze consumed walls, oxygen tanks, people. It took her best friend. It left her with scars no one could see. She hadn't gone back. She didn't pack much when she left, just the essentials and a hollowed-out version of herself. Since then, she had been drifting between cities like a ghost without a grave, chasing a horizon that kept receding. Now, she had $27 in her wallet and a ticket to somewhere she couldn't pronounce. The name didn't matter. Only that it was far from here. The sharp clang of metal on concrete jolted her from her thoughts. Her head turned toward the sound. A boy emerged from the shadows at the far end of the platform. No older than 10. Thin frame swallowed in a coat 2 sizes too small. Sleeves ended just above his wrists, exposing red, chapped skin. The hem of his trousers was dark and heavy with rain. He dragged a battered violin case along the ground, the hinges rattling with every pull. When he stopped in front of her, the rain seemed to quiet, not in reality, but in her mind. His gaze met hers, steady and searching. "Do you like music?" he asked. His voice was quiet but carried easily, cutting through the drizzle like it had weight. Clara blinked, unsure if she could trust her own voice. She gave a small nod. The boy knelt, unlatched the case, and lifted the violin. The wood was scratched and dulled, the varnish worn thin where small hands had clutched it for years. The first notes trembled, imperfect, almost breaking, but they were real. Honest. The sound curled through the cold air, wrapping itself around her like a scarf. Each wavering note pressed against something deep inside, something she thought had burned away long ago. From the corner of her eye, she noticed movement. A man limped toward them, his frayed cap pulled low, his jacket patched and faded. He stopped a few steps away. "Sorry if he's bothering you," the man said, voice warm but tired. "We play for coins sometimes. Keeps us fed." Clara reached for her wallet. But instead of pulling out bills, she heard herself say, "Sit with me. Just until the train comes." The distant horn of the last train rolled over the platform, low and haunting. Through the fog, a single headlight cut the darkness like a blade. The steel tracks hummed underfoot as the train drew closer, slowing with a deep metallic sigh. Clara's suitcase waited by the bench. 8 minutes ago, it had been the only thing tethering her to her next stop. Now, it felt like an anchor. The boy lowered his violin. His father spoke quietly, telling her about nights they'd slept under station roofs, about the wife and mother they'd lost to illness. He didn't speak like he wanted pity. Just truth, plain and unpolished. Survival, he seemed to say, was its own kind of grace. The hiss of opening doors spilled a warm light onto the wet platform. Clara stood, gripping her suitcase handle. The train's conductor glanced her way, expectant. She looked down at the case, the places it had been, the miles it had carried her through. Then she let go. The handle slipped from her fingers with a soft thud, the suitcase staying behind on the bench like the life she was leaving. "I think I just found a better direction," she said, her voice steady in a way it hadn't been for months. The three of them stepped off the platform and into the rain together, the boy clutching his violin, the father keeping pace beside them. The train pulled away, its light swallowed by fog. Behind them, the bench sat empty except for the suitcase, waiting for someone else.